third part of my IRVINE video. I don't order here, however. It could halfways be done. A kind of replacement. Um, Another Jackson Irvine, be it a little one or a fully grown one. Yeah. Um, I don't have special types, and I'm not accepting any copy upon my having done videos and my work here. So this is not an order in two directions, maybe, of the health center, yeah. So they would fuck here and there in order to gather certain DNS schnipsel and put together lastly a computer, yeah, which would be a great fit because my brain seems to be working like a computer as regards that fucked up crime complex of yours, being in the building up since my childhood, since my existence, upon having stalked our family through the decades, as I could argue and show. This is so unbelievable. It is really. I myself can choke on my porridge. Huh? So it is just appalling. They are horse and sluts. They just would fuck anyone in order to either prevent people from simply leading their very own lives, or for money, or I don't know. As I got of those two girls a very bad impression, a very bad impression. And if they were those stealing out of my handbag, they are searching my purse. They are in there, finding this and that. Yeah, it happened several times. Whilst I was lying on a kind of couch, not talking to a psychotherapeutic person, but getting rid of my back problems and so on and so forth, which of course didn't function because he is not a professional. So, and I have it since 20 years or more even. So this is not in order for a copy of a Jackson Irvine. Let the poor chap choosable lead his very own life. Let that poor chap alone. This is in order, because I don't want to have anything to do with those undertakings. Because also I don't understand it fully. I'm not a biochemist, chemistry person, but I know one. Um, so, and I listen to news, read here and there, whilst waiting too long for treatments at doctors, whilst people here march in and present me the other day a Bruce screen on one of those very laptops. They are mine, hindering that I can sell them, because Sotheby's in Cologne would send me a message where we are not interested at all. Those pieces are design pieces. So the next moving in here, upon having thrown me out, would get I don't know what. This is appalling, appalling, appalling. And yes, indeed, we are in Germany. I have to think about my last will, how it fits into this context, but in a way it fits. I don't want my Anspruchsvermögen to be directly in Great Britain, unless a criminal law case takes place there. I have prepared for that. I don't know, however, but it is still kind of relevant, because I did not let loose of my taste for Islamic studies components. So you cannot re-educate me. Use force, kill me. You cannot re-educate me. What else comes to my mind? A lot of these days as appears. I have not spoken. Till last October, till I started video taping. I have not spoken properly to anyone. People mistreated me in Germany, and I also don't want to see my Anspruchsvermögen in German hands. In German hands that are not influenced properly by, for example, a British educational means. keep my money and let's meet and talk about those matters. With or without your lawyer. I don't have any and I don't want any. So my brother, the asshole, upon having fucked Tina Lücke, and maybe this had been known there or there, um, I, I, I do think they would go visit my grandmother mother's side, and Siren Chef would, yeah, being in the knows how that can be done. Digitalis was used, thereby connecting that to my person, because there's a photo existing of me as a toddler in front of Digitalis flowers. Yeah, and then things would go on further. My brother then in the Bundeswehr, being able to drive a car, and Tina Lücke, still a minor, yeah, still a minor. If she is 4 years younger than I, and my brother was in the Bundeswehr at the age of 20, let's calculate if that fits. She was then, does it fit? 8 years old, really? Witnessing a murder which did not concern her at all and wouldn't have in her lifespan. The reason behind is that my brother likes to be in the nose of everything, as I do, but he would step further. He knows everything concerning the wealth of my parents, how much they earned, and so on and so forth, because he simply knows every document. I did not touch any document. Because I just had enough, yeah, and I could rely on people, which were my parents. And I did not over demand also. So, when did my grandmother die? It is written in the text to the to the Frankfurtian Staatsanwaltschaft. I think it was 85. So does that fit? How old was my brother? 19. 19 indeed. So what did he find? He found what I witnessed when I was already able to read, what I just threw a look upon and did not touch that paper, and would read on in my book further, whilst in the background my mother and her mother were kind of quarreling, as they would like to do. And there were talks that I still remember, and there was this document, which likely my brother had in a sense. Whether he had put it away, meantime, I don't have a clue. So this would have been the second murder case in his life. First, an attempt of murder against my person, and the question I formulated, he was forefronted as then also a minor, either 13, 14 or 15 if I was 7 or 8. The Lücke mother knew it, the Stegemann mother also knew it, because I simply was away for a couple of days, weeks, months even. I don't know, and my parents wouldn't tell. So the correct citing of the correct quote directed to the address of my father, but I would not let him read because he didn't want to know anything at all after my return from the UAE, is der Erzeuger ist als Zeuge nicht zu gebrauchen. So why? Because he always was after me reaching the age of indeed being talkative and being able to talk. So he would always stand in the middle. Likely that he would speak in favor of my brother, because my brother is able to apply pressure on people. He is really able to apply pressure on people, I must say. So, if you find any document signed after my 2006 7th day, think that it is a fake and it is just worthless. Because that stay was so oddly designed that people having prepared for that must have thought, this is going to succeed. She will never return. She will return mentally completely devastated, or her body is somewhat harmed. The latter was not the case. The former also not really, because I was somehow able to keep my mind together. If one neglects the very fact that I did not empty my letterbox, and there indeed was the weak point. So there, the debts, make it vanish, simply make it vanish, and don't do it 10 times, 20 times in favor of those, because debt have only to be paid once. Yeah, and keep in mind that these debts are designed and created, so if you pay it, be certain that I proceed here with my writing and would enable you to demand it back, because it is part of a crime complex. It is as simple as that. The people involved I also could name. There were likely more, but it was a setup and part of the crime complex that I was being involved in the UAE, upon having heaped up sad banalities and more, listed in the very text Genesis at paragraphs 241, including attempt of murder, including paragraphs enabling prosecuting crimes over there in the UAE, despite the fact that it is British law there and a great deal of Arabic law. Indeed, they have a law. They have several systems. So it is likely that it is possible, because an attempt of murder is for certain also in Islamic areas handelbar. Yeah, they can deal with that. They could, if they would be enabled. So, in the very paragraphs, I mean, I have included maybe only once, but jurists, of course, know what I'm talking about here. So, a couple of docents, yeah, would also be prosecutable. I named them. I think I named them. So this is not to press out to now me pressing money out of you, which in part of is likely to be mine, but yeah, get into contacts, enable me, and give me documents that I'm able to show. No, here you are already paid off several times, so give part of us back, directed to the Gläubiger of mine. I also proceed with looking at this Lucas lawyer, because he completely missed out. He might have been pressured, but he missed out. And maybe he's able to have already indicated here and there what kind of people were pressuring him, interfering in education of my parents, as if it was necessary to educate me on anything. Yeah, those people themselves criminals, looking into other people's family lives. It is so appalling. It is really a wonder that I'm still here and can talk and argue.